In this session on Indian polity, we are going to see about fundamental rights provided in the Indian Constitution. Before getting started, please subscribe to Exam Bin channel to get regular videos like this. So what are fundamental rights? Fundamental rights are the basic rights of the people, some universally recognized rights that are seen as fundamental, which is also provided in the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Fundamental rights across the globe. The other rights of the citizens across the globe varies based on country to country. It is evident that more or less they follow the same type of rights. The following are the key rights declared in UN Charter. They are right to self-determination, right to liberty, right to due process of law, right to freedom of movement, right to freedom of thought, right to freedom of religion, right to freedom of expression, right to peaceful assembly, right to freedom of association. India has adopted many countries' constitutions to frame their version of fundamental rights. The major influencing or contributing countries were United States of America, United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. We have given the full list in the description, please check that out. So what are the major rights of the Indian citizens? The individual fundamental rights of the Indian citizens include the following: equality before the law, freedom of religion, freedom of association and peaceful assembly, freedom of speech and expression, right to constitutional remedies for the protection of civil rights. Can the rights of the citizens be amended in this constitution? Some fundamental rights apply for persons of any nationality, whereas others are available only to the citizens of India. The Supreme Court has ruled that all provisions of the Constitution, including fundamental rights, can be amended. However, the Parliament cannot alter the basic structure of the Constitution. Fundamental rights in the Indian Constitution. The fundamental rights are defined as the basic human freedoms that every Indian citizen has the right to enjoy for a proper and harmonious development of personality. These rights universally apply to all citizens, irrespective of race, place of birth, religion, caste, or gender. The other rights conferred by the Constitution, other than fundamental rights, are equally valid, and their enforcement in case of violation shall be secured from the judiciary in a time-consuming legal process. However, in case of fundamental rights violation, Supreme Court of India can be approached directly for ultimate justice as per Article 32. There are 7 fundamental rights enshrined in our Constitution. They are: 1. Right to equality. Right to equality is an important and meaningful right provided in Articles 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 of the Constitution. It is the principal foundation of all other rights and liberties and guarantees the following: equality before law, prohibition of discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth, equality of opportunities in matters of public employment, abolition of untouchability, abolition of titles. 2. Right to freedom. The Constitution of India contains the right to freedom given in Articles 19, 20, 21, 21A, and with the view of guaranteeing individual rights that were considered vital by the framers of the Constitution. It is a cluster of 4 main laws. 1. Article 19. Rights to freedom of speech and expression, assemble peacefully and without arms, form associations or unions, move freely throughout the territory of India, and practice any profession or to carry any occupation, trade, or business. Article 20. Protection in respect of conviction for offences. Article 21. Protection of life and personal liberty, right to education, right to health, right to environment, right to shelter, right to privacy, right to speedy trial, right of the prisoners, right to legal aid, right against cruel and unusual punishment, right not to be subjected to bonded labor, right to travel abroad, right against solitary confinement. Article 21A, regarding obligation of the state to provide free and compulsory education to all children of the age 6 to 14. Article 22, regarding protection against arrest and detention in certain cases. Right to information. Right to information has given the state as a fundamental right under Article 19(1) of the Constitution in 2005. Article 19(1), under which every citizen has freedom of speech and expression and have the right to know how the government works, what role does it play, what are its functions, and so on. Right against exploitation. The right against exploitation given in Articles 23 and 24 provides two provisions. Article 23, prohibition of traffic in human beings and forced labor. Article 24, prohibition of employment of children in factories. An exception is made in employment without payment for compulsory services for public purposes. Compulsory military conscription is covered by this provision. 4. Right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion covered in Articles 25, 26, 27 and 28 provides religious freedom to all citizens of India. The objective of this right is to sustain the principle of secularism in India, freedom of conscience and free profession, practice and propagation of religion. Article 26, freedom to manage religious affairs. Article 27 provides freedom as to payment of taxes for promotion of any particular religion. Article 28 provides freedom as to attendance at religious instructions or religious worship in certain educational institutions. 5. Cultural and educational rights. As India is a country of many languages, religions and cultures, the Constitution provides special measures in Article 29 and 30 to protect the rights of the minorities. Article 29 provides protection of language, script and culture of minorities. Article 30 provides rights of minorities to establish and administer educational institutions. Number 6. Right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies, which is provided in Article 32 to 35, empowers the citizens to move a code of law in case of any denial of the fundamental rights. Article 32 provides right to move to the Supreme Court for the enforcement of fundamental rights, including the writs of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto. Understanding the nature of fundamental rights. First of all, it is important to understand the nature of fundamental rights and why are they implemented. The state, keeping in view of any security concern, can limit the freedom enjoyed by its citizens. Basically, the fundamental rights together is a weapon in the hands of the citizens to protect themselves from any abuse of power by the state. These rights act as a check on the powers of the government. The idea of the fundamental rights is central to the idea of liberal democracy. For example, the Supreme Court stated that transgenders should be included in the 2011 census as others and not as either male or female. The court recognized the right of an individual to life as the right to be recognized by the state also. So what makes fundamental rights different from other rights? The difference between these rights is the manner in which they are enforced. If a citizen is deprived his ordinary legal rights such as the right to work, he can approach the courts for restoring the same. But he should approach the lower courts first, like the district court, and then move to the high court, and then finally move to the Supreme Court. The government can also be forced to pay compensation to the injured party by the courts in case of violation of ordinary legal rights. However, if the fundamental rights of the citizen is violated, the normal judicial machinery can be bypassed and the Supreme Court can be directly approached. This is where fundamental rights are different from other rights. The Supreme Court is bound by the Constitution of India to restore fundamental rights. They are the guarantors of the fundamental rights as per Article 32 of the Constitution. With this, we have come to the end of the session on fundamental rights the Indian Constitution provided to the Indian citizens as well as nationals across the globe.